Hello, we should be live now on Twitch. Welcome to Uncanny Adventures, the Skull and Shackles adventure. Hi, I'm Jeanette. I'm the dungeon master of this fine pirate crew, and I am running them through what is a Pathfinder adventure path that we are converting to DnD5e for some fun shenanigans. Um, so I've got some background noise. I'm playing with Syrinscape a little bit. The players can't hear it, but people on Twitch should be able to. If it's too loud or anything like that, let me know. And we're going to go around and say hi to our crew, let them reintroduce you to who they are, and then we'll literally jump back into the ocean as we get back to our adventure. So today we'll start with Brad.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brad, probably Mary Watersong, the Water Genasi sorcerer.
Excellent. And Genly?
Hello, folks. I'm known in real life, well, not real life, but I'm known as GenlyAi, and I'm playing a bard called Martins. His motives are not really clear, but as the games moves on, so maybe he'll be bad or he'll be bad or he'll be good. Anyway, we'll see.
Excellent. And PaladinHulk.
Hi everybody, I'm PaladinHulk. I'm a Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday, Little Red Dot, and Geekspace TV, and I am playing Holt. And he's a paladin. Grew up as a cut purse in a port town. And I'm here on this pirate ship to learn how to be a cold-hearted killer. But things are starting to take an interesting turn. I count the pirates on this boat being a tad like torture-y. We've just seen someone get dragged out of the depths on a rope. It's a bit weird. It makes me a little uncomfortable that this is what's going on, because I expected like a smooth-running ship of like trained professionals, and that's not what's going on at all. I just managed to save one person from jumping overboard, but there's one more, and we'll find out what's up with her.
Sounds good. How about Kat?
Hi, I'm Antoinette de Jong. I am a Triton Storm Sorcerer, because that seemed really apt when we're doing a sea-based campaign. And I'm the one who jumped overboard well, there was an execution, but Antoinette didn't quite understand the concept. And she sort of thought somebody was in mortal danger and thought, hey, I'm going to go and save them. And that's the cliffhanger we left it on. So I'm excited to see what repercussions she's going to face.
Nothing like a good keel hauling.
And Dylan.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm playing Bartholomew Ignatius Seacaster, or just Bart, who is a Sahuagin and is the ship's cook's mate. So, last time I caught some turtles and had a nice conversation with the pirate priestess. You know, nothing too crazy on my end.
That's fair. All right, so so we find ourselves back, and also if you want to help or hinder players or me, you can donate bits, and I will give advantage and disadvantage. The instructions for what is available is on the screen, but also there's more below in the little text section below the video. And currently I have a disadvantage. I believe that was from Scotty. Thanks, Scotty. And sure. Dylan has a natural 20, Kat has an advantage, and GenlyAi has an advantage. So we will see how things go. So last time, you all had woken up in the hold of a ship and were greeted by a golden-toothed, surly gentleman in a large coat carrying a whip, who introduced himself as Master Scourge. And you were very quickly led up onto deck, where you found yourselves amongst a wide variety of interesting individuals, some on deck, some up in the rigging. And you met Captain Barnabas Harrigan, who is this large, muscular, burly man who basically has said that you will have nothing to do with him for most of this journey. He wants Mr. Plug, his second in command, a very well-dressed, neat individual who seems to take a lot of pride in himself. He's supposed to be your main contact along with Master Scourge, his second. So, after your first day of working on the ship, where Holt found himself assigned to the rigging crew, Bart found himself assigned as the ship's cook's assistant, and the rest of you found that you were all given the duties of the swabs on the ship. You went about your day's work, and to pretty much mostly successful. You feel like your first day went pretty well, and then in the evening, everyone came up on deck for dinner and just evening festivities and things like that. The first of which was a pirate who had been held in the bilges for who knows how long, named Jakes, was brought up, unceremoniously tied up, and then tossed overboard to be keeled-hauled. Apparently, he was caught stealing, and this is not his first offense, and so his punishment has quickly escalated to this. So as he went overboard, Antoinette, seeing someone in danger, has decided to leap to the rescue and leaped into the water after Jakes. Miri tried to follow, but Holt quickly grabbed on and would not let another member of the crew go into the ocean after Jakes. And Antoinette, you had gone down. It was very hard to see. It was dark under the ship, and you were kind of getting bashed about as the ship was quickly, you realized, was going to distance itself from you, and you were kind of getting caught in the wake. But you took the chance and you attempted to, I believe it was, control some water around.
It was shape water, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So, and you were trying to shape this water to keep him, because you could, the one thing you caught sight of was Jake's, and it looked like he was bouncing off the hull of the ship and taking a bit of a beating down there as he went. So, up on board, Holt, you're holding on to Miri. You've got your arms around him. And the rest of you have just seen Antoinette dive overboard. And Master Scourge and Mr. Plug just sort of look at each other. And this look passes between them. They both look, you would say, annoyed and angry at this. Do any of you want to do anything in this moment?
Kind of got my hands full.
You do.
Yes, and I'm being held on to.
Bart's just shoved his mouth
Think
full
of it like a loving hug.
Uh-huh.
So the actually only thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna whisper a bit loud, I think, to my to a random mate who is beside me, and I'm gonna say, that lady Antoinette. I heard she's a very good friend of that Jake, and they met in the beach, and I reckon, I'm not really entirely sure, of course. This is merely something that I heard from another friend, of course, and she wanted to save him, and we'll see what happens. But as for me, I don't really want to get involved into it, at least not yet.
So the person who you whisper to that's standing next to you is this woman who is wearing just sort of a simple shirt, just a simple set of trousers, and you notice she doesn't have anything on her feet. She's just barefoot. And she kind of looks at you and she says, "Friend or no friend, I don't think I'd jump into the drink after someone who's getting keel-hauled off the ship. That might have been a bad decision."
I would say so as well, but to each his own.
All right, so I'm going to go and I'm going to look at Master Scourge, and I'm going to point at him, and I'm going to whisper, "You should pull them up now."
Oh no.
Master Scourge looks at you, and he actually isn't the one that's holding the rope that was getting pulled across. Mr. Plug actually himself was the one that pulled on the rope that Jake's was attached to. And but Scourge looks around at you and says, "You stay out of my head." And Plug looks at him and says, "We're not supposed to lose any more crew. Captain's orders." And you see Scourge just look angry as he marches back across the ship, and he's kind of picks up like an end of a rope as he goes, and like picks up a loop of it and starts marching toward the back of the ship and up the steps with it. And he's sort of looking overboard, looking around to see if he sees anyone. And Plug has stopped pulling on the rope and is just waiting and watching what's happening. So meanwhile, Antoinette, so you had gone under, and so the ship kind of moves quickly past where you are, and you used your spell to kind of shape the water around him as you could see him.
Yeah, so I wanted to push him away from the just the underside of the boat where there's all the hard stuff so that he doesn't take more damage.
Yep. So, but you quickly get pushed out to where you can't see him anymore. So at first you do see the water kind of push him away, but then you're sort of shoved out from behind the ship, and you're kind of spinning a little bit because you were having trouble swimming. What do you want to do now?
How far is the distance between me and Jake now?
So you and Jake's, you're probably about 40 feet from where he was under the center of the ship, as you're kind of like 10 feet out from behind the ship now.
Okay. I would like to carry on swimming straight after the ship.
Okay, just make me an athletics check as you're trying to fight with this wake of the ship going by.
Come on. Yeah. Oh no.
All right, so you surface, but you are kind of getting kicked head over heels by just the force of the water that is pushing past you. And you sort of look up and you see a figure kind of marching across to the back rail of the ship. And then you see just something get whipped into the air in your direction. And let's see if he gets this to you.
Harpoon.
He's going to skewer you. Let's see if he gets this to you. As I find Mr. Scourge's attack bonus, because he's got to throw this and hit you with it if he wants to get you back on the ship. There he is. Alright, so he has a plus 5 to throw this at you. What is your AC currently?
11.
Oh, excellent. Let's see how this goes. All right, so he deftly tosses this out to you, and it lands and splashes down, and you see this rope like coming off the back of the ship that kind of lands in the water where you are. What do you want to do?
I grab it.
All right, give me another athletics check as you grab hold.
I feel like I'm going to be the worst pirate with low. Oh, hey!
Nice.
It's a natural 20.
So you grab hold of this rope and you kind of like wrap yourself in it to kind of hold on to it. And he holds it and then looks back at the rest of you down below and he says, "Well, what are you waiting for? Someone pull the fish in."
I immediately let go of Miri and run up to help.
I run right after him.
As
Let go of me.
As the cook's mate, I will also go help.
All right, so you...
Fishing is your job.
Exactly.
So I am assuming that I am 6 feet away from Holt, and I'm assuming that he can also hear me. So I'm gonna say to him, "You sir look really, really strong. and I really think that you can pull your weight, and if you want to, you can be inspired by my flattery if you want to. So I'm gonna give you a bardic inspiration. You don't as an off. You don't have to use this now if you think that you and everybody else can do this job, but
I don't
you
know
still
for
have
rolling, but
but you still have 10 minutes, and it is a. I think I'm gonna put this in chat. Just
Okay.
like. So you have an 1d6 to add to a roll if you want to.
perfect. Thank you.
All right. So those of you that have run up and are grabbing a hold of the rope, and as the first one of you gets there, Master Scourge just lets go, and it starts to kind of reel out a little bit as he basically storms away and back down the stairs to where Mr. Plug is still waiting. He isn't dragging the rope anymore. He's just holding it in place. So Jake's is still somewhere under the ship. Those of you that have grabbed the rope can roll me athletics checks, please.
Okay.
Okay, I will use the advantage of the bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Even though that's really good already, we can do better.
And I also will not help in this case. I'm just by him. You know.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So, Bart, you kind of found yourself almost getting pulled off your feet a little, where the other two just sort of get a good grip and start hauling Antoinette back toward the ship, hand over hand.
There we go.
And it takes a
Jumping
little bit,
overboard.
but you do eventually sort of pull her back and then up the back of the ship, and get her back up on deck, soaking wet.
As I get on deck, I'm like, quick, we must rescue him. We must rescue Jake.
Well, we just rescued you, like one at a time. All right? Are you all right?
He's going to die. I can swim. He's going to die.
I'm sorry, Antoinette. And this is Jake who again?
Jake, who fell overboard.
Oh, the one who is sort of like a beach rat, you know?
Yeah, the one getting dragged under the ship. All right,
Yes,
let's
we
go.
need to rescue him. We must help
All
him.
right. So I will turn and I will message Mr. Plug and tell him, start pulling the rope now.
You know, I have a sneaking suspicion that they're trying to kill him. I think that's kind of the point.
But why? That seems really harsh.
What?
I don't know
didn't
what
say
he's
it was.
done. I don't know who this fellow is to this crew. He could be a murderer. I don't know.
Is
And then
he
I'm going to
a murderer?
race down and grab a hold of the rope
I look around and
that
I
Mr.
look
Plug
at-
is holding onto.
I look around at the crew and I say, is he a murderer? Did he murder someone?
A valid question.
The rest of the crew just kind of looks around at you, and you see Sandara kind of sitting on the edge of the boat, and she just like shakes her head like, nope, he didn't murder anyone.
Well, then let's go save him before he dies.
I mean,
I'm
there's
gonna
worse
grab the
things
rope
than
from
murder, but
Plug's hand.
You're gonna grab the rope for Mr. Plug.
Yep. And
All
start
right.
pulling.
Make an opposed strength check with Mr. Plug, who his expression has gone from annoyed to he looks livid at this point.
Well, it's on.
Do I notice this going on?
I think he's going to sake his bloodlust on Miri.
Let's see.
He can try.
Oh my god, you actually pull the rope from Master Plug's hands, and he takes a step back with this angry look on his face. Master Scourge, who was looking back toward Antoinette and had started to point at a couple other crew members, stops and looks over, and you see Master Plug pull his cat o' nine tails out from his belt loop, and he says, "No one interrupts what I'm doing." And he's gonna take a lash with the cat o' nine tails at Miri's back.
Okay,
here
do I
comes the
notice it
disadvantage.
happening?
Oh, it's your disadvantage.
Disadvantage on,
Yes.
on
Time for him to roll a 1, trip, and fall overboard.
Oh,
Let's
yes,
go.
it is. Come
All
on.
right, so I will roll with disadvantage on this. So I have to roll twice and take the
That
worst
would be
roll.
freaking hilarious.
All right, let's see. So his first roll is a 13, and his second is an 11. Does an 11 hit Miri with the cat o' nine tails?
Yes.
All
My
right.
AC's 11.
Cool.
Well,
All right. So he whips Miri with the cat o' nine tails. Oof, doing 4 points of damage.
Okay, I'm sure I noticed that at this
Oh yes,
point.
you definitely have now like kind of become more aware of what's going on the lower deck.
I would like to cast lightning lure onto him.
Oh my god.
it's begun.
I'm gonna turn and cast Thunderclap.
I was debating Thunderclap, but that just seemed too overpowered.
All right, so let's see. Let's start with Antoinette's lightning lure.
Oh, jeez.
So I really doing this in a sort of like a round turn.
What I'm doing is they're each gonna get to go, and then if any of you want to do something too, and then I'm gonna make you guys roll initiative.
I'm standing there stunned that
Okay.
people would be this dumb.
Okay, guys, I also want to do something, but I shall wait for it then.
All right, so Antoinette
Same.
goes first. All right, so let's see. I have to make a strength saving throw.
Yes, DC 13.
All right, let's see. So and this is against Mr. Plug, who just whipped
Yes, it is.
Miri. All right.
The one who's just been attacking him with cat nine tails.
All right, let's see. Strength saving
Because he's
throw.
attacking my friend.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, friend loosely termed because I've known you for what? Half a day?
Yeah.
In passing, but you know.
All right, he gets a 6 on his saving throw.
Yes. So that's a 1d8. Excellent. Oh, 3. Well, I mean, that's still a 3.
All right, so 3 points of damage to Mr. Plug. All right, and
He's
then
next to you. That's how I'm reading it.
Well, he's pulled 10 feet away from me then.
yep, so he gets pulled 10 feet away from Miri.
And if he's within 5 feet of Antoinette now, then he takes lightning damage.
So let's see. He would have been so if she had run up to the edge of the stairs, so yeah, he'll take lightning damage.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool spell.
I like it.
He doesn't.
No, I imagine.
I'm sure
Shocking.
he wouldn't.
All right. So after this lightning lure drags him away from you, Miri, what are you doing?
So now that he's away from me, I'm just gonna start hauling on this rope and pulling this guy up.
All right. You can roll me a strength athletics check. All right. So you start just heaving on this rope. As this is starting to happen, you see various members of the crew. Some of them, like Sandara, has this like, oh crap expression on her face. The halfling Rosie is just sort of like looking around like, what? The big guy with the bandana on his head is just sort of like leaning back against a wall, like watching. But there are a handful of more angry looking crew members who look like they're about to jump into the fray as well.
Do they look like the
Come on,
ones?
you Limeys, let's take charge of this ship.
Do they look like the ones who went downstairs with Master Scourge when we first woke up?
Yes, they do.
That's what I figured.
All right. So, what does hang on. Who was next? Okay, what does Martins want to do?
Okay. So I'm not exactly sure where I am in relation to all this happening, but I assume that I am in sort of the middle of all the other people who are into helping Mr. Mr. What's his name? What's his face?
Plug.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to calm everybody down. You know, they're gonna say something like that. Wait, folks. Just a second, please. You have to remember at first. Oh, sorry. That's how to a bit too British. I'm sorry. Okay, folks. Let's be cool, hearties, and as you all know, we are all really not very used to this kind of situation. So the best thing we should do is to try to learn the differences and put these things behind us, I think. And I'm gonna talk to Mr. Plug, if he can hear me.
Yes, he can.
I know that you. I can sense actually that you are deep down. You're a very patient man.
What?
And a very handsome and a very patient man. And I'm sure you know that new people can make mistakes sometimes. So
Mistake, yeah.
So what I would propose is that all these angers just be calm and we just first talk about it and in a kind of civil way. And I say that to Mr. Plug, but also to everybody who is hearing as well.
Are you casting something, or are you trying to persuade them to come?
I'm I'm not actually using any spell, but it's up to you. It's up to you. I was hoping to use something like
Persuasion, right?
Persuasion. So
Sure.
if you allow me to use persuasion,
You can make a persuasion roll.
I'm sure it's gonna be with severely penalties.
I'm
but
gonna
anyway.
say a disadvantage because he
That's
looks
fair.
livid.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Well, almost.
Really good.
Well,
Oh, can you imagine?
So he takes a look at you, and some of the crew that didn't look too into it are like, what
I'll say something.
what he says. Plug looks at you and says, if you don't want to be punished for this incursion, then just stay out of the way. But the rest of you stand down.
Take over the ship.
I'm sorry. He said that to me.
Yeah, he
Okay.
like looked at you and he said, if you don't
Right.
like,
Gods above.
he seems like he's giving you an option to kind of step back, and then he's telling everyone else to stand down. Miri has yelled, "Take over the ship!" at that point.
Okay, so I have another action, but I'm gonna wait for another turn. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say if Holt and or Bart want to do anything, they can
I'm
do one
stunned
thing.
by all this. I'm doing nothing.
All right, Holt stands.
I think Bart's going to try and sneak below deck during the confusion.
Okay. Do you want to roll me a stealth to slip behind something and disappear below decks?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. 18.
An 18. All right, so let's see. Now everybody can roll some initiative. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, holy shit.
This is where we discover he's like one of the main characters or something, and we've just taken him out. No, I mean we, not that I say we would.
It's gonna take you out.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, wait.
6 dudes.
I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, man.
Well, we might have a a TPK already this session.
Hey, I'm not
However,
fighting, so
yeah, that's true.
All
But
right.
however, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
And well, I'm gonna put some. Okay.
you should roll for
So
initiative.
yeah, so first I'm gonna roll for initiative. Sorry. Okay. And okay.
All right.
Okay, our initiatives aren't great.
Hey,
They're not great.
They're not horrible. They're just not great.
No, but look at the
Hers
other
are well.
initiatives.
Oh my god. Classic Jeanette, rolling really high.
Yup.
And
Looks real happy too. That's never a good sign.
I'm happy because I like playing D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I tell my players too.
In this case, playing D&D translates to butchering the party.
I mean, oh, it's not bad.
Oh my gosh.
At least it's not a boring campaign.
That's true.
I'm just waiting for my wild magic to kick in.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. I was holding that one. Let's see.
Might be key.
All right, so let's see. So Miri has yelled out, "Take over the ship," and Mr. Plug was lightning lured across about 10 feet away. Does that goes away? Yep, it's instantaneous. So he gets yanked over and then it disappears. So he's standing next to you now, Antoinette. All right, he is going to. He looks at you, and he has his cat in one hand, but he reaches down and pulls out his cutlass, and he sort of flips it over, and he's gonna like try to just bash you with the butt end of his cutlass. So. Plus. Oh yeah. So he swings it down at your head. Does a 9 hit you?
No.
Ooh, all right. He curses as it misses, and he kind of tries to bring it around to the side and hit you on the temple with a second strike. Ooh, 23.
Just about hits, yes.
All right, cool. 6 points of bludgeoning damage to the side of the head.
Okay. I'm not very happy about this.
And
I'm not happy about the cat and nine tails either.
he growls at you. Stand down.
So I'm sorry. So he looks like really bad, or just bad?
What, for me?
Yes.
Really bad.
Oh, okay. All right.
Cats.
I'm
You don't have any
bleeding.
hit points at level 1.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 6 would be half my HP at this level.
Yeah, I'm
6 is 3/4 of mine.
yeah, I'm down to 2 from
Nice.
8. I'm feeling kind of squishy.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, you are
fine.
first level.
Fine.
Mhm.
Everything's
To
fine.
finish this thing I'm doing quicker than I thought.
All right. So a handful of the pirates on deck sort of kind of back away, like to the edges to sort of give room for this. Though there's a group of them that look like they're like wading in toward, particularly Miri and Antoinette at this point. But Bart, you have sort of slipped back toward the door that leads to the stairs behind you. What do you want to do?
Well, I wanna. Well, first of all, I would have noticed beforehand, before all this shit went down, was Cutthroat up here, the quartermaster?
Yes, Cutthroat is on deck.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go downstairs,
You're gonna go downstairs.
and I'm gonna start making my way to her room.
Oh, all right. So
It's right next to the galley, right?
Yeah. You know that she
Yep.
and Fish Guts share a room downstairs. All right.
Got
So
it.
yeah, you could get downstairs, and you could get about right almost to the door of that room down in the hold. So you just kind of You run past where the big fellow with the muscles is still sitting on the floor, chained to the mast,
Yeah.
and he just sort of looks up dully and watches you run by. And his head cocks and turns, like listening to the noise going on upstairs. But he doesn't get up as you pass. Alright. Oh, Master Scourge. Alright, so he is going to... he goes over to where Miri is. And he says, "Take over the ship, huh? I knew I didn't like you very much." And he is going to attempt to... he's going to try to hit you. He pulls out a hand axe, and he's going to hit you with the back of it on the head. As he goes to swing it down, why don't you roll on the surge table as the like energies of this, like suddenly you feel your the magic that sort of can go a little crazy for you sort of like bursts out as he's swinging down to hit you. Oh boy.
Oh, let's see.
30.
Ha! This is perfect
Oh lord.
because I teleport to an unoccupied space of my choice that I can see.
Wow.
So as he does this, I teleport, and I'm going to teleport up next to the big wheel of the ship. So
All right.
Hear this thing.
All right, so you're there, and he swings down with the back of this axe toward where you're standing, and then you pop out of existence, and he like stumbles forward where the rope has now kind of gone slack and is just sort of like moving of its own accord, and he just looks around like, where the bloody hell? And he doesn't see where you went at first, so he just is whipping his head around looking for you in surprise. All right, so after Master Scourge, there were like 3 pirates coming up on the other side of Miri who also look at Master Scourge like, and then one of them points up to the back to where the wheel is, and you can see Miri up behind the ship's wheel. There's the dwarf with the ugly nose was at the wheel, and he hasn't noticed yet that you're behind him. He's just looking down and watching. So, but 2 other pirates sort of move in to come after Antoinette, and they're going to try to like grab hold of you. So the first one, so this is going to be a grapple check. So you can roll, Antoinette, either an athletics or an acrobatics check as the first pirate comes lunging in to try to grab you. And this is a female.
Ooh.
She
Did Cat have an advantage?
she does have an
Yeah.
advantage.
I would like to use that advantage, please.
All right, so you're going to take that 15. All right, so I'm going to roll for this deranged looking female with crazy hair is the first one that lunges at you. All right.
No, that's her. She's the crazy.
I know. So an athletics check. So you deftly dodge away, like you just kind of shove this woman off, and she shrieks a little. And then right behind her, coming up behind you, is this big man with this just permanent scowl on his face. And as you shove her away, he goes to come up behind you and just pin your arms on your side. So roll me another check to avoid his grapple. Oh, yeah. So he grabs and tries to pin your arms, and you shove him off and push back, and he doesn't get a hold of you. And the 2 of these pirates look at each other in surprise, not expecting this show of strength. All right.
Slippery.
Miri, what do you want to do?
So I'm up here at the big wheel of the ship. I'm going to bump this little gnome or dwarf or whatever it is at the wheel out of the way, and I'm going to spin the wheel of the ship to the left.
I love it.
Port.
Yes.
Port, right? Yeah, port.
All right.
Yeah.
So, why don't you make me an athletics check? It's a shove. You're going to shove him off the wheel. You have advantage because he didn't realize you popped in behind him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He's going to roll to see if he avoids this. So he is watching the deck below and is surprised as he is shoved sideways and sort of like stumbles to the deck. And Miri just grabs on and spins the wheel. And yeah, the whole ship suddenly makes a hard
Yep.
Cut the port. When it does this, can everyone roll me dexterity saving throws
That's
to
what I
see if you
figured,
get
yeah.
tossed off your feet?
This should be good.
10. Okay.
Okay.
Dexterity saving throw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dexterity saving throw. All right.
Cool, cool. So all of you managed to stay on your feet. Let's see how the pirates do. Oh, the poor pirates.
Come on.
What is Plug's dexterity saving throw? Oh, well.
That's a good question.
All right, so Mr. Plug grabs hold of the railing and does not go over. Master Scourge, who has now realized where Miri went to, also stays on his feet. Let's see. We had some pirates who were hanging around. Let's see how they do. Sandara was on the side of the ship, like sitting on the rail. So,
All the good guys dead.
Please no.
but she holds on to the rail as the ship. She seems like she is very comfortable at sea and does not go over.
Besmara is with her.
Besmara is with her. Meanwhile, the other pirates.
I do have a question first.
Mhm.
I haven't acted in a very long time.
Yeah.
have you forgotten about me?
No,
Sorry,
you're coming up. You're this is Miri's turn. We've got Holt and then
Crazy shit
Martin's.
going on.
There's a lot of pirates
sorry.
on this ship.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's cool. Let's see. So we've got a whole bunch of pirates who I have to worry about. Let's see. The dwarf. The dwarf goes tumbling against the rail and slams into it, cursing loudly. The angry woman who tried to grab hold of Antoinette manages to stay. The big muscled man also goes flying after the dwarf. And then the three that were down below that went after Miri, they all managed to stay on their feet. The rest of the crew, various members who weren't actively involved kind of get like kicked around. You see a couple of people like quickly grab as one of the crew members starts to go over. You see Rosie the halfling like grab hold of this guy and has her feet kind of like caught in the rail, and then somebody else comes over and helps pull him over. Mary, do you stay by the ship's wheel as this is going on?
I do.
All right, so Holt, complete chaos seems to have begun.
Yep. Complete chaos. All right. I'm just going to try to grab on to something and stay put, and I'm going to yell at Antoinette to stand down.
Okay.
I
Martin.
don't think I should roll because, do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Martin.
You mad woman.
Yes.
Stand down.
Martins, what are you doing during this chaos that is ensuing around you? There's people like rolling across the deck past you, and people yelling in anger.
But at least they are not focusing on me, right? Or not
they are
intent.
not. They are not, because you have not taken any hostile actions. So they seem to be more focused on the two people who went after Mr. Plug, especially there's a lot of ire turned toward the one that has just cranked the ship over, and the ship is literally like up on its side, everybody like rolling around.
Man, first of all, I had a very good idea, but to be a real advocate, I couldn't really use sleep as a magic because I still like my what's it called? My
Component pouch?
Actually also that, but I use my flute, and I don't have my flute to actually use it.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna follow what what Holt was into, and say to Antoinette, and I'm gonna say to her, listen, Internet. I know that I know that you're a very smart human, human, right? I think so. No.
Brighton.
Well, to me, you also
Humanoid-ish.
you also are human. So, however, since you are a very smart girl, and a very and also very pretty as well, perhaps you should consider stand out for a bit. If you do that, I can try to. I will. No, I can try not. I can definitely persuade the other people to actually, be more reasonable. And saying that, I'm also using a sleep called Healing Word, which is actually a bonus. How do I put this in chat? Let me a sec.
Yes, it's a bonus action for healing word.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a healing word that heals for 1d4 plus my spell casting ability, which is in this case +3. So it is like 1d4 plus 3,
Mm-hmm.
and that you should add to your health. Doing that, I hope that my first attempt to see that you see reason can help you. I don't know, but then it's up to you.
All right. So how much do you heal Antoinette for?
1d4 plus 3.
Go ahead and roll that for her.
Damn, I'm using loads of my spells. Anyways.
All right. So after, are you gonna do anything else, Martins, or is that you're just gonna heal her and then finish where you are? Oh, I can't hear you.
Well, I don't actually. I'm not able to use any of my tests on her because she's also a PC, right? But yeah, that's all.
All right. So do you want me to roll the D4 plus? What's your spell mod? How much do I add to it?
So one. I mean my healing, or
Yeah. What's your bonus to the healing spell? Because I'm gonna roll it for.
Oh, it is. It is +3. So
+3?
1d4 plus 3 because
right.
it is my
1.
charisma.
All right. So it's 4 points of healing.
Yay! Thank you.
All right. So then, Antoinette, what are you gonna do in all this craziness?
Okay. So, there's. I see what you're doing, Holt. There's 2 guys around me that have just tried to grab me.
Mm-hmm.
One of which has fallen to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Mr. Plug who's still looking pretty pissed.
More now. Like the level of anger is going up exponentially as these things are happening.
Okay, so does he look at all injured with what I did with him with lightning?
Currently, it looks like you have upset the perfection of his nice coat more than anything, which may be the worst thing you could possibly have done to this man.
Oh.
You think that he took very, very great care in this particular jacket, and there is a singe mark, a burn mark from lightning on it now, that you think may not sit well with this gentleman.
So Antoinette is not used to being injured quite as much as she had, and the immediate danger to her friend is gone because he has teleported away and is now controlling the ship, which I believe is his ulterior motive all along. So she is going to shout at Mr. Plug in a sort of exasperated way, "Don't attack my friend! He didn't do anything. Don't attack him. He was just trying to rescue Jake." Where is Jake?
You see the rope that's attached to Jake still free moving on the deck.
I go for the rope.
Oh, so you run away from Plug and these two pirates and run for the rope?
Well, are they within engagement distance?
Oh yeah, they the one on the floor probably can't do anything, but the crazed-looking woman with the big hair is right there, and Mr. Plug is still right near you.
Isn't Scourge near her?
Oh,
Okay, question.
And not Plug?
no, she lured Plug with the lightning lure to her.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Tempestuous magic. I've just posted it in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use that bonus action before I do anything?
Whoa. Cool.
I mean, before you like move or anything? Sure.
Yeah. All right. I would like to use tempestuous magic and cause whirling gusts of elemental air to surround me. Oh no, briefly before or after you cast a spell. Nope. Okay, I can't do that. You're
Yeah.
right.
Immediately before or after you cast. Oh, you have to cast a first level spell or higher. I see. Yep.
I wasn't gonna do it. Oh, never mind. That would have been so cool though. So there's two guys around me who would get opportunity attacks, right? Because one of them tumbled to the floor, didn't they?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't realize they were that close. Obviously. So no. So where is Jake? Somebody grab that rope.
There's a lot of like stares from other pirates, like looking at you, like what? All right. Do you do anything else while you're there?
No.
All right.
As
So
much as I want to, but no.
excellent. So Mr. Plug says, "You should have stood down. Now you're gonna spend some time in the brig." And he's going to take another swing at you with the back end of the cutlass there again.
I kind of technically did stand down-ish whilst having a go at him. I mean, I didn't attack him further.
He swings once and like misses you as you probably backpedal a little that he's still swinging.
I do a matrix move.
But then he does come back around with another swing of the hilt. And he is going to do...
It's faking you out.
Mm-hmm. He hits you for 6.
I fall to the floor.
He looks at the crazed-looking woman with the crazy hair, and he says to her, "Slippery, take that one below." And this woman's like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
I feel like I'm about to take
As the
Jake's
deck of
place
the
down
ship
below.
is tilted to the left.
Yes. So a bunch of the other pirates who are not involved in this altercation have like scrambled and are pulling people up and onto the deck and trying to get them up to safety. Bart, you're down below, and you get kind of like the whole ship just tosses to the port, and you just sort of grab on to the mid-mast there in between and hold yourself. You hear a grunt from the other end of it sounds like the big man maybe wasn't expecting it and tumbled. But you're in the cargo hold of the ship, and you're just outside the door of Fishguts and I forgot the name. Fishguts and
Cutthroat.
Cutthroat's
Yeah.
chamber, their room.
Can I check to see if it's locked or trapped or anything?
Sure. Let's see. Fishguts. Now, are you going for the bedroom, or are you going for the actual quartermaster store?
Oh, the quartermaster store in that case.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a different room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to the quartermaster store. Let's see. Let's see if it's locked. So you get to the door and you take a quick look, and it appears that Cutthroat has left and forgot to lock the door.
Oh, well, I'll just open it on up then.
All right. So you open up the door, and you see a cramped room that is full of various wooden lockers and chests. And you count up real quick, and you see there's about 6 of these chests, all kind of like stacked in here.
I'll go for the nearest one and try and open it.
All right. So let's see. Roll me a d6, please.
D6. Okay, got it.
Ooh, a
six.
6.
Right.
All right, so you actually go to the only metal chest. Like, you kind of go in real quick and you see a metal chest. And you kind of dart over and take a quick look. And you see that it is, in fact, locked. Make me a perception check or an investigation check.
My perception's better, so I will.
Okay.
21.
21. Not only is it locked, but you see a small pinhole, and you realize that there was probably a poison needle trap on this lock.
Okay. Can I try and force it open from afar with my help of my rapier? See if I can like mess up the lock and make the needle pop out. Can try and get it open.
You can roll me if you want to try to force it. You can roll an athletics check. So you sort of look at it and back away and shove your rapier in and try to jimmy this open.
Okay. A 23.
23. So you jam it in and you press down, and you see this needle puncture out as the trap goes off. And you do kind of like bend the lid a little bit, but the lock holds.
Okay.
And you realize that this chest has an extremely good lock on it.
Dang. Okay.
All right. Do you do anything else?
I'll consider my actions
All
further.
right. So, meanwhile, Master Scourge is going to... Let's see. He's going to run up the stairs and run up behind Miri. And he is going to attempt to clobber you as well, as you have your hand on the wheel. He has to make, I'm going to make him make, because he's running along the deck and trying to get there, he's going to have to make an acrobatics check to cover the distance with one move. Because the ship is definitely not helping him. Alright, he gets a plus to that. So, he does manage to make it to you. He gets just barely. Like, he's kind of slides sideways a little. But he comes up behind you, and he is going to take a swing at you as he gets to you. So let's see. Alright. He still has that hand axe in hand. He's like, not getting away from me. You'll be in the brig too. And he's going to swing at you. For a 22 to hit you.
Just a little.
Just a little?
Just
All
a
right. And, oof, 9 points of bludgeoning damage to the back of the head.
little. Yeah, I'm unconscious.
Nice. So you all who are on deck, Martins and Holt, you see Antoinette drop. You see Miri get clobbered. You see the dwarf with the broken-looking nose kind of pulling himself to his feet to get back to the ship's wheel. Scourge sort of like starts to right the wheel as best he can. Let's see. Miri is unconscious. You're not you don't have to make death saves though because he didn't try to kill you. He was just trying to knock you out. Holt and Martins, do either of you want to do anything as you see the two of these friends of yours have now gone unconscious?
I want to run to the rope that has Jake's on it, and
Okay.
I say to Mr. Plug, "Sir, you want me to pull the rope in?"
He looks over his shoulder and he goes, "Just hold it steady and I'll be there in a moment to pull it up myself."
All right, I do so.
Martins, do you do anything as you see Miri and Antoinette have fallen to the ground?
Oh, my cat is here. Sorry. So are they? At least from my point of view, are they in danger of actually dying, or are they just knock it out, as in knock it out?
You saw both Mr. Plug and Master Scourge hit them, but they didn't look like they hit them and like cut them. It looks like they were trying to knock them unconscious and not kill them.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. All right, folks. It seems that all this muting, or however you want to call it, it's pretty much at the end. What I would suggest, based on your steamy leadership, of course, is that you first of all keep them alive, because they might be useful in the future, and perhaps you just lock them away, Antonin and Miri, and as you can see, I was really trying to help to actually lower the emotions down, and but I'm here to help at that end as well. Having said that, I look around. Do I see anything of value, like a weapon lying around, or like a ring? Something of value. Among all these.
Roll a perception check if you're doing a quick glance around to see if you see anything that's come loose.
Okay. Oh god.
You take a quick look around. You don't see anything particular that is that looks any kind of valuable about. You just see most of the crew have started to pick themselves up as the ship has been righted. And you see a couple crew members who had been dangling up in the rigging that had kind of fallen but caught themselves, kind of righting themselves and sort of tying off ropes and things like that. But otherwise, yeah, nothing valuable.
Okay. Am I possible to do another very quick assessment or a small action, or should I wait for?
You can. Well, we're gonna.
So my idea was that I think I probably remember from half an hour ago, or from 2 weeks ago, and where exactly was my flute?
So you know that you were basically informed by Sendara. Anything that you had taken became property of the quartermaster, and it's down in the quartermaster's shop downstairs. That's where they keep anything that was taken.
Okay, yeah, and using my I hope is still my movement in this turn. Can I slowly well, not exactly slowly, but inch towards that area, at least that door.
Yeah, so you say your piece and then you basically like kind of back up casually to the door to go down to below deck. Sure, you could kind of back up and sort of get to the door and just kind of like as everyone's attention turns away from you, just slip inside the door. So you're kind of upstairs at the top of the stairs.
And just another very quick question: Is it near where is it a bit near where Bart is, or is it in something completely different area?
You're not you in character don't know, but out of character, yes, Bart went to the quartermaster's chambers. But nobody knows where Bart went to. Bart disappeared. All right.
That's all for me then.
Cool.
Sure.
So with the two antagonists kind of now unconscious, Scourge kind of points out a couple of crew members and says, "Take them and lock them up in the bilge." And there's a handful of pirates who gladly come over and pick up the two unconscious figures and just sort of like drag them across the deck and start heading to the doorway where Martins has disappeared into. Holt, you are the only one of your small group that was press gang together, still standing on deck. You're holding the rope. And Mr. Plug, he looks disdainfully down at his jacket and he strolls kind of towards you. And he just takes the rope without saying anything. And he starts to slowly start drawing it back across. And he looks at first like really angry at everything that's happened. But as he's drawing the rope, it seems like it almost calms him. Like he's enjoying this now.
Yeah, that's very worrying.
At least he's doing what he loves.
I go to the side of the ship to see, like, if he's gonna come up, if he's dead. I don't know.
All right, so you move over to the side of the ship and you wait as the rope is being slowly pulled, and it's literal like slow dramatic pulls. Meanwhile, downstairs, Bart, you had gone inside and the quartermaster's room. You stuck your blade in and tried to pop this box open, and it you feel like you may have damaged the locking mechanism, but it didn't come completely free. But you did set off whatever that pinprick of a trap was.
That's good.
What are you doing while you're down here?
I'm going to go to the next chest over.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and open that one.
All right. Why don't you roll me a D5?
D5. Got it.
See which other chest you get to.
3.
A 3, you say?
Yep.
All right. Where did my chests go? Aha. There they are. So the third chest. All right. So this one you get to, and you see immediately that the lock appears to be broken.
Oh. Can I peek inside?
Sure. You just go over and pop the lid open.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you do, you hear a clump, and something shoots out of the chest at you.
Okay.
Oh God. You are impaled by an arrow from inside the chest.
Oh,
Ow.
that didn't go as planned.
Right in the eye.
Oh. Oh yeah, it's a crit. I gotta roll
It's
that
a
again.
crit.
10 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
How you doing there?
I'm at 1 HP.
All right, so you take a just this arrow like into your upper chest as you're holding the lid open. It's bleeding down from the arrow. And he's just holding open the lid.
Oh. Is there anything else in the chest?
You kind of like lean forward
Another
and look.
arrow.
No.
You see, and this is a fairly large chest. You see,
Oh my God.
there's like a what looks like a small backpack inside, and you can see it looks like there's like a rope attached to the side of it, and a quick glance, it looks like that's some kind of climbing gear. There's 1, 2, 3 potion flasks of various designs. There's also what you think is a disguise kit.
Okay.
And then you see 4 flasks of what looks like clear water, a magnifying glass, a set of manacles, and that's kind of what's in that bag. Were you missing anything from your personal
My
effects?
hat, but
Oh,
you know.
okay. You
I'll
don't
grab
see your
potions.
hat.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So potions, you just gather them up real quick.
And I will put them in my mouth.
Okay.
Strange
Yep.
potions. Gotta drink them immediately.
I'm not gonna drink them. I'm just gonna put the bottles in my mouth and like hold them in my cheeks or whatever.
Okay. So
I don't want anybody to see me walking out with these fucking potions.
Excellent.
I'll see the arrow in my chest, I guess, but you know, with a hole at least.
So, Martins, you snuck into the doorway, and then you saw the other pirates as you were kind of disappearing, collecting Miri and Antoinette up. So, do you descend down into the lower hold?
How dark or how light are these particular area?
It's in like dim light. It's shadowed. There's maybe like a lantern kind of burning, but it's kind of lidded, so there's not a lot of light down here, but you can see down here.
Okay. No, actually, so I. Is it fair to say that I could be expecting someone in this?
Down below at this time, you kind of noted that most everybody was up on deck, except you had lost sight of Bart. The big fellow who's chained to the mast has not been let up in the day that you've been here already. He's still chained. And you didn't see the cook stay on deck, but you did see him kind of drunkenly stumble back and come downstairs, so he's probably somewhere down here, maybe in the kitchen.
So I'm thinking about actually going down this area stealthily.
Okay, you can roll me a stealth check. All right, so you very quietly make your way down the stairs and into the cargo hold. And if you start to cross across the way, you can see on the other side the door that leads into the galley in the kitchen is open a little bit. But you don't see anyone on the other side of it as you go there. You're just kind of walking across. Do you head for the quartermaster's room?
Still stealthily, I go to that room. Yes.
All right, so you get to the slightly ajar door.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. And as you get to it and you're kind of starting to open it, you hear this of it sounds like an arrow or maybe a crossbow being loosed, and then there's a dull thud, and perhaps, I'm not sure, Bart, what kind of, a groan from a door opposite this one, about maybe 6 feet away, that is also slightly ajar. And then you hear to your right, you hear a noise, like a clatter, and you look over because you're kind of standing in the galley, and you see the cook sort of laid out in a chair with his hand on an empty bottle of rum, and he's just got his head lolled back, and he's sort of
All right, so now I have 2 options. So either I can actually join him in my room, or And this is not actually a run or anything like that. So this is in real life. This is what okay. Sorry about it. And anyway, but then I had to that door who is ajar and try to open really and try to have a peek inside.
All right. So you start to peek into the room and you see Bart, who deftly puts 1, 2, 3 items into his mouth before he suddenly turns and you guys make eye contact. So then, meanwhile, up on deck, so
You
yes. So up on deck, Holt, you're like leaning over the rail as these other pirates have like dragged Miri and Antoinette like to the door, and you hear them clumping down the stairs, on a way. And you see Jake's finally come up from under the ship, and
Super dead.
he looks a fairly bloody mess as Plug is just slowly pulling him up, and then pulls him up onto the deck itself, and he just sort of thwops onto the deck.
I'm right there. As soon as I can reach him, I give it a whirl because I can heal people at a touch.
Okay.
Just gonna give him 1 HP and see if that does anything. I'm assuming it doesn't, but you never know.
You attempt to sort of revive him, and you quickly realize that it's not going to do any good. He looks
dead.
like not only was he left under there for quite some time, but he is a kind of a bloody mess from being dragged across the barnacles as he was so slowly. And Plug just sort of looks down at him and is like, "Oh, well, looks like he didn't make it."
He's dead.
Indeed.
Is this what's gonna happen to Miri and Antoinette?
This is an example of why people shouldn't break the rules. He kept overstepping and overstepping, and it led to this. Maybe if they learn a lesson from this first offense, they won't have to meet the same fate. You know, I don't like to put down crew members if I don't have to. And he smiles when he says that.
Right. I noticed that you've also got like a big man chained up to the mast. Like, is that what's between the 2 steps? Like, what's up with that?
He smiles and he goes, "Oh, Owlbear? No. Don't worry about Owlbear. I take good care of him."
Right, he's not in trouble?
No, he's not in trouble. Maybe you'll get to know him better over the course of the journey. Owlbear is a great friend to have on the ship.
I can go and talk to him then. Like,
You can certainly try to have a conversation with him.
all right. Well, that was an eventful little thing. Sorry he's dead.
He kind of kicks at his shoe, and he shrugs, and he looks, and he says, "Well, he's no good to us anymore. Toss him over." And he walks away.
Right. Yeah, he's wearing clothes and stuff, I assume.
Yeah, he still has some clothes on.
I take all his clothes off because we're on a boat and we don't get a lot of resources, and then I chuck him in the drink.
All right. So you chuck him over. So, meanwhile, Bart and Martins, you have come face to face, and you're sort of looking at each other. Martins, you note that Bart has an arrow like through his chest, and he's dropping like a fair amount of blood through the arrow hole. You both hear from outside the doors the thump, thump, thump of, like, you think somebody's dragging a couple of unconscious folks downstairs. As you two sort of are now in this open doorway looking at each other.
Close the door.
There's a jingle of glass as Bart talks.
Close the door.
Okay, so the door. Okay, so first of all, don't worry about it. I'm gonna close the door. However, do I notice a key either either from the outside or from the inside of the room.
You see that the door definitely has a keyhole and could be locked. There's not a key in it though.
Yeah. She probably has it.
Okay, makes sense.
Jeanette,
Mm-hmm.
question.
Mm-hmm.
When I activated the poison needle, did it stay popped out?
Yes.
Can I break it off?
Sure. You can break it off.
Okay.
You just
I'm gonna run over and
snap. You successfully snap off one needle from a poison trap hole.
I put it in my belt.
All right.
And then I'm gonna be
Careful
as
with how
quiet as
you put
possible.
it in there.
I
Careful
know.
how
I don't
you-
want to.
When you do, roll me a perception check.
Oh no. A what?
A perception check.
Oh, okay. Perception.
Roll initiative. No.
Oh God.
So you snap off the needle, and you do notice behind the chest there your hat is on the floor, tucked in behind the set of two chests that are there.
Oh. Oh well. I'll tuck that needle in, and I'm gonna take my hat.
Nice.
Yay. Well, so
I feel a lot better.
yeah. Okay.
Well.
Can I? Probably not. But can I? Cast a cantrip, a prestidigitation. Yeah, at the same time, I do that first, and then I can close the door. So so my idea is, even though it's not very far away, it's like 10 feet away. I want to create a sensory effect, which is coming away from the door, away from the room where we are,
Mm-hmm.
and what sound should I create? Some music. A music from what used to be from my flute, and first I would cast this cantrip, and then I would just close the door and not mind with the key or anything like that.
Okay, so you two are now, you close yourselves in the small space of the quartermaster's chamber. So you guys are like kind of in cramped quarters here, but both of you are in there together.
We should stay as quiet as possible.
Yeah, no. I mean, my sound would not create inside the room.
Yeah.
But like outside. But even though you think it should be, it should be like even a bit quieter then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so once
I
you
think-
yes, go ahead.
I think Mart's gonna like listen as hard as he can for the like footsteps and dragging to quiet down, and then
Yes. However,
Yeah.
However, my thought at the
Mhm.
time was that sound and that sound would not necessarily come into this room, but it will come into another room as part of the.
so I don't want to stay in here very long. If I'm being honest. I don't want to get caught in here.
Well, I do. I have lots of chests and things to open. Anyway.
Be careful, some of them are
okay.
trapped.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I'm just close the door then, and then I'm gonna spell a. I assume that you are not feeling very well, so I'm gonna cast a healing word as well to you.
Okay.
So right. That's 1d4 plus 3.
Okay.
So those are my 2 actions. First to try to get the door to close it, and then to cast a healing word, and then say to you, "Oh well, as you say, great minds think alike, right?"
All right. So meanwhile,
Potion bottles in my cheek.
yes. So Miri and Antoinette, you last thing you remember, you're on deck. The next thing, you are splashed with disgusting water, and you both find yourselves in the very dark, wet bilges, which Antoinette you recognize because you spent most of the day down here trying to clean them out. And you both find yourselves chained in manacles at the far end of the bilges. And Master Scourge is kind of standing there with a dirty bucket, just leering down at you with his golden teeth. Wakey, wakey.
I'm awake.
Now,
What do you want?
we need to have a chat about your behavior up above. We can't be having that happening again. We need the crew we've got, as the captain said this morning. And so we're not going to kill you. But behavior like that can't keep happening, or the punishments are going to get worse.
You never explained the rules.
Didn't think we had to be specific. But here's the specific. You do what you're told. You don't annoy me. And you certainly don't annoy Mr. Plug. Because if you think I'm bad, he's worse. Y'all are gonna spend the night in chains. And tomorrow you're gonna take a lashing. And that's gonna serve to show that we're generous with our punishments. The punishments fit the crime. But any more talk of taking the ship, and he points at Miri, and any more interfering with other people's punishments, and he points at Antoinette, and things are going to get worse for you. We'll have to move on from lashings to more dangerous types of punishments. More possibly deadly alternatives.
Well, I can do the follow orders thing, but that not annoying thing, I don't know how to do that.
How's Jake?
Don't know. I was busy dealing with you. Guess you'll have to wait to find out till tomorrow.
I don't understand this whole... This is all very confusing.
I'm not here to explain things. And he turns and he climbs back up the ladder. And then the trapdoor in the ceiling is closed. And you two are left in the dark. Like, they don't leave you a light. It's pitch black. And you're kind of sitting manacled. You're kind of in water. Like, since you're sitting, it's kind of like waist deep water. And you are just sort of just completely soaked. And you both realize that it seems like they must have just unceremoniously dropped you through the hole to get you down here. On top of your heads hurting from being bludgeoned unconscious. So you're each at 1 hit point.
I'm gonna go to sleep. Nothing else I can do. I'm gonna go to sleep. Sorry, Antoinette.
I guess I'm also going to... Well, he's not interacting with me.
Nope.
I sort of try and kick him, but I'm assuming he's a bit too far away.
Yeah, you're a little. Well, you could get close enough to kick him, if you
I
so
use
chose.
a bit of shape water cantrip to just sort of shape water around him and make some fancy things. And I'm assuming he's not going to notice because he's asleep. So I also go to sleep.
All right. So up above, Holt, you have tossed the body of Jake's magpie overboard. Plug has gone off to apparently looks like he's repairing his coat, and you are left sort of mingling about with the other pirates on deck, and you see them starting to sort of break off into groups. They look like they're sort of going about to entertain themselves for the night. And one of them says, looking around, and it's the dwarf with the broken nose, and he's like, "Where the bloody hell's Fish Gust with the rum?" And this younger pirate, who like it looks like he likes to carve on bone and things like that. He sort of looks around, and he's a little more fresh faced. He's like, "I'll go find out," and he sort of like runs across the deck to run downstairs looking for fish guts. As they're breaking off, you see one group sort of sitting down, and it sounds like somebody's starting to kick into a tale and tell a tale of their pirating adventures. There's another group that is like setting up. They've got a barrel that they're setting up, but they take and they pour out like some caltrops around the top of the barrel, and then a couple of the bigger, brawnier guys kind of like set up, and you see them go to arm wrestle over the top of the caltrops. And
I'll walk over.
okay,
That seems real dangerous, lads.
they sort of look at you, and one of them is the one with the blue bandana, and the other one is so you know his name. They call him Cog. The other one is this female, like older half elf woman, who's got kind of a shaved head, but the little hair she has left, it's sort of done in like dark hair and then gray, like streaks all across her head. And she looks at you and says, "Well, where's the challenge in it just being an arm wrestling match?"
Well, if you do a normal arm wrestling challenge, you don't hurt each other. Like, he's supposed to be your ally, right? We're all running this ship together. If he can't do his work because his fucking hand's impaled, then your work gets harder.
Well, if he wants to win the gold and he doesn't want to get hurt, then he's got to beat me.
All right. Well, it's your hands. You want to be stupid about it, no offense. You go right ahead.
Well, do you think I'm going to lose? Do you want to take a bet against me?
Ooh.
Well, I don't know which of you is the strongest. You both look like fit pirates, but like one of you is going to lose, and that person's going to have a real tough time handling the ropes tomorrow.
Looking between her and Cog, Cog definitely looks like he's the stronger of the two. Just by pure, like, physical.
Mm-hmm. You never know.
She's actually an arm wrestling champion.
Dang. People get wiry.
Sure.
Right, well, I'm holding the wet clothes that Jake's was wearing. Is there anything in his pockets at all?
Doing a quick look, it looks like he didn't have anything left. Whoever locked him up downstairs picked him over pretty good.
I didn't think there were. I'll go see the quartermaster to return the clothes.
All right, yeah, and you can see that Cutthroat Grok, the half-orc female, she's kind of sitting on the forward deck, like on the stairs, looking out at the ocean. When you're walking over, you notice that she has this this scar that runs all the way around her neck. It looks like at some point she literally got her throat slashed and yet survived it. But she has a really mean-looking scar. And she kind of looks over at you, and she's a little glassy-eyed, so you think that maybe she's been partaking in a little bit of early rum this evening?
All right. Hello? You all right?
She kind of looks at you and blinks and says, "I know you."
Well, my name's Holt, and I hold out my hand.
she looks at it kind of questioningly, and then she just kind of like shakes it uncommittingly.
Yeah, that's good. Good to meet you. Like, I took the clothes off of the dead guy before we tossed him overboard, considering, you know, waste not, what not. I figured I'd give him to the quartermaster, which is you.
She looks at them. They need mending, but I could sell them back to someone for a little bit of money.
Well, that's good then. Here you go.
She'll take them. She kind of gets them in hand, is taking them from you. She says, "What you want for them?"
Well, nothing.
Kind
I'm
of.
not going to use them. What I've got is better than that.
She kind of sets them down next to her. Kind of scratches her head a little, surprised that you don't want anything in return.
No, I'm not here to like make a buck or anything. I'm here to learn how to be a cold-hearted killer. It's not going well so far.
She just nods her head and she says, "You're surrounded by cold-hearted killers. Take your pick."
But like, I wasn't expecting people to get keelhauled to death. Like, that's a brutal way to die.
He kept stealing stuff. Told him not to. Lashed him with the whip. Stole something else. Lashed him with the cat. Stole something else. Put him in the sweatbox for 2 days. Stole something else. What else are we supposed to do with someone like that?
That does seem like a really stupid idea for him to keep stealing like that.
I mean, stealing, but he got caught. That was the stupid part.
That is fair. Do you know why he was stealing? What was he stealing?
He kept stealing from me, from other people.
Right, but what?
It took some weapons, took some rum, took some potions, took a magic wand.
Right.
He just had sticky fingers all the way around, which is fine. Like I said, if you're good at it. He was terrible.
I grew up on the streets as a cutpurse. Like, I've spent my whole life stealing stuff, but I don't steal from my mates. And we're all supposed to be on the same side here.
She kind of snickers at you and says, "You should be careful thinking that everyone is on the same side."
I mean, how does this work then? Like, if we like grab a boat and steal all their stuff, how does it go?
You grab a boat. The captain and his officers go over what we get. If we do good, everybody gets some loot. If we do bad, everybody may still get some loot, but it's less. But then if somebody wants the loot you have, they might take it from you.
Well, that's not right.
You gotta be careful. You gotta trust who you know you can trust, and then the rest of them, you just deal with them.
Yeah. Like, I saw the look on Mr. Plug's face when he was keelhauling that fella. It's a scary man, that one.
Mr. Plug. She just sort of looks, and then looks quickly back out to the sea.
I'm not about to cross him.
You may be smarter than you look.
Intelligence 9. That'll do it.
So, meanwhile, downstairs, so Bart and Martins have shut themselves inside the quartermaster's room for the moment. You heard the clunk clunk and the disappearing sounds of what you only can assume to be, at least Martins. Bart, you don't really know what happened on the above deck. The Miri and Antoinette being dragged down somewhere below decks. And you two are just sort of there, looking at each other.
So I said to Bart, "Hey, how are you doing, Bucko? If I don't mind me call you Bucko."
I'm doing better with the hat, for sure.
Yeah, the hat really helps. However, it's a bit it's a bit warm here, so I just I just took off my my hat as well. Anyway,
I feel a lot more like myself with it on, for sure.
okay. So, well, you seem to be a very resourceful man. How did you end up with this arrow? And are you maybe trying to open some chests?
Well, I sort of move the potion bottles to my other cheek. Yeah, well, like I said, if you're gonna be opening chests, be careful. Don't let anybody catch you.
Yeah, and
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Okay. So if you, I mean, enough. If you don't want to act, if you don't want to act, ahead of me. First of all, I'm gonna look around and again see if I can find my my flute. If I can't find my flute, I still want to see if anything valid is outside of any chest.
Mm-hmm.
Make a perception check, Martins.
And for that, in honor of whoever gave me a advantage, I'm gonna do these. No. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm gonna save that for later. Sorry. So I'm just gonna do a regular perception.
Okay.
Not very good. So I found anything. I found my flute. I found anything interesting.
So you take a quick look around, and you don't see anything interesting out of the containers. You don't see your flute. So your assumption is that if it's here, it's probably inside one of these boxes.
So again, if Bart doesn't want to act,
I think Bart is gonna listen at the door, and as soon as he doesn't hear like people walking around out there, he's gonna open it up, slip out, close it.
okay.
All right. So Bart, make a perception check at the door.
I shall. 21.
All right. So you listen at the door, and you hear, but it's not close by, but you hear some footsteps that sound like they're on the stairs. But it just sounds, if you had to guess, it sounds like maybe only one person walking down the set of stairs. But it's like, you know, those stairs are on the other side of the hold.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pop out.
All right. So you pop out of the quartermaster's chamber, and you close the door behind you, leaving Martins inside.
Yep.
And you're standing in the galley, and you look over, and Fishguts is still slumped with his head back, just sort of snoring a little bit like he's fallen asleep.
Okay.
As you stand out there.
I'm gonna... This place is like a mess, right?
Oh, God, yes. You're not even sure how Fishguts finds anything in this mess.
Yeah. Can I find somewhere that I'll remember amid all this clutter, like maybe in a corner or something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the potions out of my mouth.
Okay.
I'm going to try and identify them and then put them in the corner and like maybe cover them with like a cloth or something, like a dish rag.
Okay.
So I don't have them on my person.
All right, so you take them out, and you want to quickly take a look to see if you know what they are?
Yeah.
All right. So that's gonna be an Arcana check.
All right. Wish me luck.
So the first one, which looks like it's a brownish liquid that kind of has a thicker consistency. You're not sure what that is.
Mud. Okay.
Yep. The second one is a red liquid with little golden motes floating in it.
Well, I have an idea what that is, but yeah.
Go ahead and roll for it.
It's Arcana again?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This one, you probably have seen these before as well, so you kind of recognize it. This is a potion of healing.
Okay, it's good. It's good.
It's just called Gold Slugger.
Yeah.
And the last bottle has like it's like a yellow liquid that looks like it's constantly swirling, like at a quick speed, just spinning inside the.
I'll do an Arcana for that too.
You have
5.
no idea what that one is.
Ooh.
No, I know, but it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay.
So looking around, just give me a quick perception check to see if you find a good spot where you want to dump this.
You were clearly too distracted looking at the swirly thing inside the bottle to.
Whoa.
You're like, ooh.
All right, so you quickly sort of look around, and there are any number of like cupboards and things here that you think you could tuck these into, and set them aside, and that like especially the lower cupboards are less likely for fish guts to go into.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll wrap them in like a washcloth, and I'll sort of put them in one of the low cupboards,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe behind some stuff. So someone who's just going in there to grab something, they're not going to go, oh,
All right, so you wrap them up in a dirty cloth. You kind of stick them in the back behind something. You're pulling your head out of the cupboard. The door to the galley flies open and slams on the wall. Boom! And you're startled by it. And Fishgut sits up, blah! Tips the tankard over that's pretty much empty, but it clatters off your head as you're nearby where he's been sitting. And he sits up and looks around, and you see this younger pirate that you have seen around. You've heard him called Jack. And he pokes his head in the room and he says, we're missing the rum rations, cook. Master Scourge and Mr. Plug wanted to make sure the rum rations. And Fishgut sits up in the rum. Yes, rum. He looks down at you on the floor. He's like, what are you doing down there?
looking for the rum.
It's the tankards are over there.
Over there. All right,
Get the rum rations up on deck, would you?
Yep. I'll close the cabinet and I'll go over towards wherever the rum is. Start getting it together.
Kind of gets up, scratching his head. Looks around. Why is everything? Why are the pots tipped over on the stove over there? Why is my soup spilled over here? What are you doing?
Me? Oh, no, the ship went all crazy.
What are you talking about?
Well, a fight broke up on board.
You're
Up
just
top.
supposed to be fighting.
I didn't fight.
What did I tell you?
I listened, Mr. Fishguts. Mm-hmm. I am a good listener.
Well, get the rum up on top. I'll pick up the soup. Go.
Okay.
And
I'll
Jack
start.
Scrimshaw runs back out and heads back up to the deck. And Martin, so you're inside the quartermaster's chamber and you hear all this. You hear Jack bust in and you hear this conversation. And you hear the footstep of Bart, heavily laden with probably the rum, leaving. And now you can hear Fish Guts moving about in the kitchen, cursing about cleaning up the soup that spilled.
I'm sorry, Becco. You are. I actually have a thought myself. Sorry, Becco. You are on your own. I might have to later, but right now, do you know if I happen to know which chest that Bart was trying to open where the that trap has had triggered.
So, you did see that that he broke the needle off of this big metal box, kind of in the corner. So you can see that looks like a chest that he messed with.
And I assume I was also standing in front of the one that shot the arrow when he came in.
Oh yeah, you were right in front of that one when he came through the door.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna shall I assume that that's the only trap. And the chest seems to be locked, or do I have to try first?
Looking at it, it does look like it is locked.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to unlock it somehow, and maybe using my only weapon that I have kept with me, which is my dagger, and for that. I'm gonna use that advantage that I have gotten earlier.
Okay.
So which should I?
So you're gonna roll a dexterity check, trying to use your dagger to pop open this lock.
12.
All right. So you pry the dagger in and you try to turn the tumblers.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm.
Just a sec. So I am actually a human that has a variant that I assumed that at the time it was okay, and I took a feat called Lucky. And,
lucky.
And Lucky. I'm gonna put this. Lucky. So even after you roll something, and not knowing the outcome, you still have you still can roll another additional D10.
Yep, you get to roll another D20, and
exactly.
If it does better, you can take that roll.
Exactly, and that's also ability checks, right?
So you can roll another D20 for a dexterity check. All right.
Oh god.
So you spend a luck point. So you try. You think, oh, I almost, and then you can't seem this. You realize this is a very, very good lock on this metal chest. Very high quality.
Okay, and so just I'm sure lots of other people have also to play, but is there a sort of a large chest where it can hide behind, as opposed to the door?
There are aside from the metal chest, there are 5 other wooden chests in here that are of solid size that somebody could, like, it's not a big space, but you could kind of move it out a little from the wall and kind of tuck in behind it if you wanted to.
Okay, so just to finish off here, I'm gonna go hide there and try to get some sleep.
All right, so you tuck in behind. Why don't you just roll me a stealth check to kind of hide yourself behind this chest?
She should probably have spent more points than so.
All right.
And that's probably a long rest, a long rest.
Yeah, you're just gonna stay there and go to sleep and hide out behind there. So, meanwhile, up on deck, Bart, you come up on deck carrying this big thing of rum, where it kind of meandered up there, put it down, and the other pirates are sort of grouping around to get their rum ration, and they get a half a pint. Everyone gets one, including yourself, as you dole it out to everyone.
When Sandara comes up, I tip my hat at her like, ah.
She will give you a wink as she takes her glass and moves back toward the railing with it. And so you pass this out. So Holt, you also get a glass, and everyone on the crew gets a glass of rum. And Master Scourge yells, "Bottoms up!" And you see most of the crew like taking swigs of their rum and drinking it down in one take.
I walk over to Mr. Scourge and I give him my glass. I'm not much of a drinker. Would you
Oh.
like?
No. Everyone on board gets one ration a day. You have to drink. Just the
I
one.
have to.
Yes.
Why?
Very peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting my ration.
It's true.
He
You're
looks at,
asleep.
he leers at you with his golden teeth and he says, you're a pirate now, and this is what you have to do. This is one of those things where I'm going to tell you that it's expected of you. And I expect you
Right.
to do that.
I trust you, Mr. Scourge. Like, thank God.
All right, so both of you just roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Because this is a pretty solid.
22.
Nice. All right, let's see.
A mighty 10.
Mighty 10. So, so you, like, don't feel any ill effects from this, but you do kind of feel like you get a little lightheaded right away. Like, it's a pretty solid, like, draft of rum that they give you, but it seems like, it sort of calms some of the wilder members of the crew, and it kind of keeps them a little more even keel. So it seems like this is something they do just to keep everyone kind of in check.
They mix in some tranquilizers.
Perhaps. But
Maybe.
otherwise, neither of you feel any ill effects. Both of you roll me a perception check.
Sure.
As I roll to see.
What the?
Wow,
Okay.
dude.
Jeez.
I mean, that's
I
solid.
don't notice a thing.
You probably
I'm the
don't,
skill monkey, evidently.
apparently.
Come on, language here.
So you, Bart, notice Sandara had taken hers and she had strolled back to her seat on the rail, and you are the only one who seems to notice that she gracefully dumps the contents over the rail before bringing the cup to her lips and looking like she drinks it down in a swig.
Okay.
So, the rest of the night or evening goes by. There's some of these games going on as far as the arm wrestling, where you do see the woman get her hand slammed down in the caltrops, cursing madly. You see a couple other pirates. They take out this like iron ingot that they wrap in what looks like a greased pigskin, and they are like heaving it up and down the deck to see who can throw it as far as possible as this is happening. And this goes on for a while until eventually Master Scourge calls for all those not on watch for the night to head below decks to sleep. No one seems to have noticed Martin's disappearance at this point. And the two of you, Bart and Holt, if you go downstairs to the middle hold, you can see where some of the pirates who get down there ahead of you, they start picking up and grabbing the and putting up their hammocks across, and you find yourselves getting jostled and pushed to the back of the room, back toward the stairs in the back and the cook's rooms, as they're like, no, you're in the back, get in the back, get back there, that's where you go, back there, as you're kind of tossed hammocks to put up for yourselves toward the back of the room.
Yeah, whatever.
You guys
Fine.
by the kitchen.
Yep, and you're
Smells
put
good.
in by the kitchen. You see, the last thing you guys see as you're settling in for bed, you see Cutthroat comes downstairs, walks down, but doesn't go to the quartermaster's chamber. She just turns and goes into the room there. And Fishguts eventually sort of stumbles out of the kitchen and kind of stumbles into that room as well, as they both share bunks in that room. And the door kind of slams shut, and you are settling in for the night. And I
A
think...
bunk or bunks?
What? Bunks, plural. I mean, as far as you know. And I think as you're all settling for the night, one of you behind a chest in the quartermaster's chamber, two of you in the bilge in rank foul water, chained up by manacles, and two of you in your hammocks in the mid cargo hold. I think that may be a good place to stop for tonight.
What
Yeah,
a
Havoc
first
is
day.
a good place
Going
to start.
so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing well, you guys.
Fun place to...
Well,
Oh my god.
Pirate's life for me.
well.
Could I have made a point to like have a brief interaction with the woman who got her hand stuck on the spike? To, like use up my last bit of healing to fix it up for her?
Sure. So you go up and you what do you say to her when you go to her? She's kind of like got it wrapped with a dirty cloth, and she's sort of affixing her hammock in the mid hold as this happens.
I see you lost. Is it bad?
Well, I'll have a couple of scars, I think.
You want me to take a look?
What are you, ship's medic?
I don't know. Wounds just seem, just let me give it a whirl, yeah?
Make a persuasion check. As she seems a little questioning.
All right. Yep, that's perception.
Oh, roll the persuasion. There you go.
There we go.
Hey.
That's better.
She seems a bit hesitant at first, but then she'll put her hand out towards you, looking at you questioningly.
All right.
Like
I hold her hand. I dump the last 3 hit points into her hand.
she looks down in surprise and kind of undoes the makeshift bandage and looks at where the wound is closed up, and she's like,
See, I don't know why that happens, but
You're
Try
all
not to.
right. And she kind of pats you on the back.
try not to injure it again, huh?
Maybe we'll keep you around. You're all right. What'd you say your name was?
Name's Holt. And I hold out my hand.
She puts out her hand. She says, "They call me Badger."
Badger's a good name.
She
All right.
gives you a nod, and then she'll finish putting up her hammock. And you
Yeah,
see as you walk away, she looks at it, kind of impressed, surprised.
I also head up to my hammock then.
Excellent. And with that, we will close out the session, and we'll do some plugs, and we'll see
No more Mr. Plug.
what happens in our next session. Yes, some plugs, do you say? All right, so why don't we start with Dylan?
Oh, hey,
Hi.
I'm Dylan. Hey, Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Piracy RPG, Jeanette and I are in Waterdeep, Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We're exploring Undermountain, and last time my character put on a mask and went through a portal to maybe meet a certain Mad Mage, who she has a shard of his soul inside her body. So, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It's always good times. And how about Kat?
No, I have nothing to plug. Most of my other sessions are offline. But I do wish I would have thrown a chromatic orb at Mr. Plug. I was so close. I was like sitting here weighing it up. And yeah, I'm so disappointed I didn't.
Decisions.
Next time we'll have allies.
I hope so.
True.
I'm looking forward to throwing a chromatic orb at his face.
Make it acid, yeah?
But okay. Why not?
All right, and how about PaladinHulk? What do you have going on?
Hi everybody, I'm PaladinHulk. I'm a Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday, Geekspace TV, and Little Red Dot, and you can find me in their chat rooms and Discords if you want to hang out. I'm not doing anything besides this at the moment, but things are always looking to change.
Awesome. And GenlyAi, what do you got going on? Anything?
Hello, folks. My name is Genly. I think this session was really well, and I went to shout out our DM, which is really well, and yeah, I'm not playing anything besides this. However, I am on the lookout for a group for the Waterdeep Dragon heist. If anyone wants to have a spot, I know it's in the past already, but if anyone has any spots, I'll be down for it. And yeah, that's it. I think.
Cool. And how about Brad?
It's been a great session. I've enjoyed it a lot, and I've got nothing else going on right now. So
You are chained up, so that makes sense.
You did get knocked out and chained up, so that happens. And I'm Jeanette. You can find me here every other Sunday at 4:30, running this wonderful game with these crazy pirates. Oh my goodness. And every other Monday on my channel, you can find me running some Call of Cthulhu in the Old West at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I am chilling out with Dylan in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and it's giving me flashbacks to another tomb that we may have explored together at one time or another. And on Thursday nights, I'm actually in a new campaign of Horde of the Dragon Queen on Dammit Barry's Twitch channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We've done 2 sessions. My character's a badass. Maybe. We'll see. Word of Radiance is the best cantrip I've ever used. But other than that, thank you to everyone who donated bits. Thank you, Brad, for your resubscription. Thank you for coming along. And if you catch up with us outside of here on YouTube or on podcast, because I am putting it on podcast form eventually, just so people I know can catch up if they don't watch. We appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys playing. I love it. Things go crazy, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited. You've made some angry pirates. You've made some friends with pirates. This is all good. It's all awesome.
Some of us have made more friends. Some of us have made more enemies.
It's a nice
level
mixed
1
bag.
is so much fun.
Right.
And some made not friends and not enemies, but something in between.
Some of us are works in progress. We'll get there eventually. So we will see you all next time. Thank you, everybody, and have a great week ahead of you. Take care.
Bye.
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 Cheers. Bye.